Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. And folks, today my guest is heavily involved. And let me just bring this up here. Here we go. She is heavily involved in helping to save democracy. But, she's having a good time while she does it. Born out of the darkness and despair of the pandemic shutdown. Here we go. Footage not found. Heather, where's my script here? Heather got out of the shelter in place sweatpants and into the dressed for success streaming sensation she quickly turned into. There she is. And she is a DJ, she's a singer, she is a TV host, and she's a comedian and possibly even an agent for the CIA. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming my guest today, Heather Gardner.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know what? I have not added CIA informant yet on my resume. So you beat me to the curb on that one.
Welcome. Now, not everyone in our audience is necessarily privy to that, and we will get to that in a minute. But obviously, what that is referring to is a little bit of tongue in cheek about this event, this incredible event that happened last week, where I got to meet you in person, and I was a little bit starstruck because, for those of you who don't know, Heather is really kind of a big deal. She is a big deal. Like I said, she's a TV host, and that's not like exaggeration. She was on TV, right? But also, she's got like millions of eyeballs on TikTok, which is like bigger than TikTok is kind of bigger than TV right now. If you can carve out a space for yourself there. Am I right? Am I wrong? What am I?
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, I was a little, starstruck when I saw, oh, it's you.
That's so funny because literally you were the first person that I saw when I would say rolled up to the White House, but you know the secret that I was running barefoot to the White House, and you were the first person that I saw. And I honestly didn't recognize you without the beanie, without some sort of hat. You kept it very professional. And then when you said, hi, I'm Brooklyn Dad, I'm like, oh my God, what have I just walked into? I was starstruck.
So tell me, how did you manage to get that invite to the White House? Do you know?
Yeah, so about a month ago, the White House reached out, which also don't know how that happened. I thought it was a scam because there's a lot of, as we know, bad actors in the world. And I just had this little message that came through my inbox, and it literally just said WH intro, and it was like, hi, I'm so and so from the White House, we love your videos. I was like, this is not real, this is a fake. I sent it over to my manager, I sent it over to my husband / producer, and I was like, this isn't real, right? But we gotta obviously check on it. Like, I feel even weird asking about this because I know it's fake, and it turns out it was not fake. That's a weird thing when the White House says, like, we're a big fan of you. Dude, I wanted to pass out. Like, that was too much. It was wild.
Indeed. Okay, so let's now move on to this CIA thing.
Oh my gosh.
So last night there was a video clip. I suppose this came from OANN. That's One America News Network. Which I'm surprised that they're even able to broadcast. Haven't they been kicked off of every cable channel?
I mean, I thought so, but here they are, still going.
Yeah. So this person seemed to be just dumbfounded at how this whole thing came about. I got a clip right here.
This blue check mark, named Brooklyn Dad _ Defiant, is a literal nobody who came out of nowhere.
Well, actually, let me just interject here, because if I was a literal nobody,
Literal nobody.
Would you, doll face? Huh? Would you? I don't think so. Let's go back to the
This blue check mark, named Brooklyn Dad _ Defiant, is a literal nobody who came out of nowhere. Oh, but he's got a blue check mark, so he must be important, right? You can see here he tweeted at the White House with these awesome resistors. Zoom in to spot your faves. Resistors? What exactly are you pro-government establishment shills resisting? It's such a joke. Anyway, this happened close to the same time Dylan and company took their little field trip to the White House, and they're clearly inviting groups of paid influencers to spread their garbage propaganda. Call me a crazy conspiracy theorist, but what sealed the deal for me was this one. My #1 fan, Texas Polly, in the same photo as these Biden-loving commies. For those of you that don't know, Texas Paul is a contributor to far-left media group Midas Touch, who somehow has 676,000 followers. I suppose that's the beauty of not having to deal with censorship and getting your posts boosted in a completely rigged algorithm. Again, it all makes sense when you realize these losers are all sellout puppets to the establishment. We all know the CIA is all over social media. Why wouldn't they boost liberals and radicals to further push their agenda to manipulate the system?
I don't even, I saw this last night. Like, I don't even know where to begin. First of all, can I just say that she gave us everything. Like, call me a crazy conspiracy theorist. I will do that. I will absolutely do that, Allison, or whatever your name is, because that's exactly what this is. This is nothing more than a crazy conspiracy theory.
Oh boy, to me it sounded like she was a little butthurt that she wasn't invited to this.
Dude, I know. And I saw another one too, because this has been picked up by a few of these different sites. There was another guy who literally spent 12 minutes just being upset that we all were invited and have less followers than he does. Like, he's like, I don't know this Heather Gardner. She only has 80,000 followers. I have 1 million. Why wasn't I?
Wait, tell me was that Ben Shapiro?
Oh my, no. Oh my God. If that was, now that would be something. Like, it's my goal to be featured on like Fox News or Ben Shapiro or one of these like crazy things because I'm speaking up for democracy or something like that. That is the pinnacle of the pinnacle. That's when I'll know that I've hit the highest level of my fame, if that ever happens. But no, that did not happen.
But right now, our fame, apparently we are CIA operatives.
Where do they get this stuff? I mean, I don't wish that, because that would be like a deep state thing. That's not happening, guys. Just so we're clear, this is not happening. No one was paid to be there at this event. But like, that's like the craziest one yet, because like since I started doing TikTok videos and since I started using my voice in this way, I have been getting all kinds of hate. Like, George Soros is paying you and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, I wish. I wish I didn't have to wait tables or was on unemployment. Like,
But here's the thing: are we communists or are we capitalists? Because if we were getting paid to do this, that would kind of put us in the capitalist column, would it not?
It really, really like annoys me that they don't understand the difference between socialism, capitalism, communism. Like, we're just all of these buzzwords all at the same time. And all of them are like antithetical to each other, which is also just wild. But I don't know how we could be all those things at once. It's beyond me. This was just a really funny one. The fact that we were paid operatives by the CIA. That's something.
So I got this in the mail today. This is no joke. I got this.
Wait, for real?
Addressed to Agent Defiant. All right. Location classified. And then
not the CIA.
Not the CIA. Just a totally normal person, like burn after opening. And on the flip side, it says top secret, but also just an ordinary package. And this is literally what.
Oh my gosh. I love how is that your money that you're supposed to burn when you get it?
Inside.
Oh no.
Now, let me just full screen this here.
Have you been Herschel Walkered?
Oh, fun fact, my buddy and philosophy. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for the kind donation. My friend, Horse Whisperer, aka Mike, who was there with us, Mike Goodenough was there.
Yep.
Was kind enough to drop this off for me.
That
I mean,
that is hilarious. Wait a minute. I'm just jealous that you guys live close to each other because I kind of felt like everyone at the White House had come from the East Coast. I was only one of two people who came from the West Coast. And I just feel so sad, so left out that I'm not close enough to have these inside jokes like you guys do. Like, I feel very left out. I'm going to spend the next 12 minutes complaining about it, okay?
Now, let's see. I've got one more picture. Well, I got more than just one more, but this is from your Instagram feed, and I thought, hey, this is an awesome picture because you fit yourself in there with the Washington Monument, and I liked what you had to say here. Let me make this bigger. It says, my day at the White House. Now, that's a sentence I never thought I'd write. And to think my big mouth got me here. 2.5 years ago, Lauren, that's your husband, that's Heather's husband. Sorry,
Yep.
guys. She's taken. Lauren and I sat in our living room during lockdown, glued to the television, screaming at every horrible news story that came out in 2020. The president trying to cure COVID with bleach, the George Floyd racial injustice protests, the election tampering and lies, celebrities releasing that horrible cover of Imagine. After several months in lockdown, we turned on a camera and posted a quick reaction video to the daily news. We never looked back. And that is a fantastic screen capture, I guess, of that, because the way you described it totally takes me back. And that's how, Monique Lee, thank you so much for the kind donation. I appreciate it. That is how I ended up doing this thing, really just to take people's minds off of the idiotic COVID press briefings from Donald Trump. But you have taken this to an entirely different level, and I've mad respect for you for doing that. Are you where you want to be right now? And did you ever imagine that this is what you would be doing for a living?
Well, using my big mouth for sure. Definitely. It was something that I thought that I would always be doing because from the moment my grandmother said to me on my 10th birthday, this was so funny. She had like this giant camcorder. Remember the ones that like used to have on the shoulder? And it was
Oh,
my
yeah.
10th birthday and I was giving a traffic report from the backyard because that's what I did as a child. And I kept going on and on and on about this fake traffic report in the backyard. And she goes, Heather, she goes, if we knew you were going to talk this much, we would have left you at the hospital 10 years ago. So I always knew that, like I said, my big mouth would get me in trouble one of these days. And my career as a television host definitely set me in that direction. But doing this type of stuff, I don't think so. It wasn't anything that I thought that I was like pursuing at the time. But when we started doing it and when we started getting some success doing it, it kind of just clicked in my mind. Like, this is what I've actually been missing in my career the whole time. And just to backtrack a little bit, I was a very traditional entertainment news host, reporting on one of the many YouTube channels, that were coming up during the height of the YouTube era of entertainment news. Very straightforward, talking about Brad Pitt and George Clooney and castings and, things like that. Just very, like I said, very straight stuff. And everything changed when Donald Trump, a celebrity, started saying that he was going to run for president. That was in 2015. And all of a sudden, like, not only did all of our like lives change, but my life specifically changed because I was covering politics in a way that I had never before. And because again, like, a reality star was running for president and it was ridiculous. And then all of a sudden it wasn't so ridiculous. But even as he, I started reporting on him in 2015, like the second he came down, I just remember it so vividly when he came down those golden, escalator at the Trump Tower in New York. That was the day that like my whole world changed, like professionally. And so leading up until the election, and when he won the election, of course, we covered it. But then after that, my company and my entertainment news, they said, let's go back to regular entertainment news. And I was like, whoa, we there's no going back. Like, what are you talking about? We can't go back. And so I struggled for a long time with like wanting to talk about things a little more serious and wanting to also just be like tongue in cheek and funny while doing it, and working for companies who did not want to do that. And to each their own, they all have their specific brands or whatever, but I never had the agency in these specific companies to really talk about things that I wanted to talk about and in the way that I wanted to talk about them.
Right.
So it took a long time to get to this point. And then when we finally did it again, like that's the moment where it clicked for me that like I should have been doing this all along. I didn't have the agency. I didn't have the time first of all, the resources, I was too scared to like, quote unquote, quit my job and try something new. Luckily, the pandemic just forced me into that. No choice is necessary. But that's kind of, I never thought about it, but it kind of just makes me wonder why I never thought about it now that I'm here,
Your story, by the way, I'm fascinated by it because we all of us lived through the pandemic. We did.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, right. I just got my fourth booster, second booster, fourth shot yesterday. So my arm's a little sore, but yeah, we're still trying. We're still living through it.
Good job. Now, before I get into that in depth, I do want to touch on the fact that you actually have a background in, I believe it's broadcast journalism. Am I right?
Yeah. Yep. That's what I studied in school.
You were were you a radio DJ in college or after college? What was the deal with
both? Yeah, both. I started my radio career in college. I was very, very lucky enough to go to one of the top 10 journalism schools in the country. It's a little embarrassing to say that it's from Florida nowadays. I don't like telling people nowadays that I'm from Florida because Florida is a wild, wild place. But no, the University of Florida. Say it one more time.
We call it Florida.
Yeah. Oh, see, there it is. And I can say that lovingly because that's where I grew up. No, so the University of Florida is the biggest public school in the state. And that's where I went. And they have one of the best journalism schools in the country. It's top 10 consistently for the last like 40 some years or so. And yeah, so I interned all over town. They had radio stations and television stations that played throughout the entire little town. So I got a ton of experience in school. And then my first job out of college, I was trying really hard to be a television host, but that was not what the plans, the stars had in line for me. And I ended up being a radio host. So I started out at this radio station called Whoa Whoa, and it was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and it was talk news radio, conservative talk news radio, by the way. I did not last very long there. It's just a month.
Wow. And wait, is that because of the dichotomy between your personal beliefs and the content, or?
Not at all. The reason was because I could not give traffic reports seriously because I love to smile and I love to joke and I love to kid around. And they're like, your personality is just not suited for this. So what they did was they sent me over next door to the country music radio station. And they're like, you're going to have a better career. This is a better fit for you. And I wanted at the time to do entertainment news too. But I graduated at the height of the financial crisis, the one of many that my generation has seen in the last few years. So I didn't really have a lot of options. So I took a news position because it was the only job that I could get, but my heart really wanted to be in entertainment so I could laugh and cut up and, interview celebrities and things like that. So they moved me over to the country music station, and that I was there for like 2.5 years. And that was how I got my start in entertainment and in broadcast. And I'm very, very thankful that they didn't just fire me.
Can you do one of those like radio riff things like this is Heather Gardner from can you?
Oh yeah, sure. I could turn on the radio voice. Absolutely. I don't know why I had to fluff my hair up to do that, but let's just go. Coming to you live from Brooklyn Dad _ Defiance. This is Heather Gardner.
Well done. Well done.
I feel like you have a better radio voice than I do, to be honest.
Perhaps that's debatable, But let's move on to your I guess your debut was with entertainment. Was it is shit? Is it Entertainment Tonight or Entertainment News? Entertainment
Entertainment
Weekly.
Weekly. Weekly.
There it and it
There it
was a
is.
show.
There's a lot of them. I understand.
It's a fascinating concept. Last night's late night, and I
Hmm.
won't attempt to say that 3 times quickly. But the whole idea is you were covering the late night TV hosts and their shows. Am I right? Is that
Yes.
the whole?
Yes. So this job was my first network television show. I had been doing up until this point. I had worked for like 9, 10 years almost. I would say cutting my teeth in the industry, working for a lot of different like online companies. And this job was everything that I had ever worked for. It was a network position. I had a dressing room, which I never ever thought that I would like have, and everything. And it was like the pinnacle of what I wanted to achieve in my entertainment news career. And then of course everything changed. But yeah, it was with Quibi, which I rest in peace. Always have to say that about Quibi. There I am
Mhm.
on the desk. And yeah, basically what we did every single night was I would watch all of the late night shows. At the time, there were more than 20. I think there were 22, maybe 23, depending on what you considered a late night show. We covered them all. And then Quibi, if you remember, just gave shows that were under 10 minutes. So in under 10 minutes, so you didn't have to watch all 22 late night shows. We showed you the best clips of every night. And it was a daily show that I did. That looks really nice and pretty from my set that I only got to do for 2 weeks before Quibi died because we spent the first 6 months in lockdown doing it from my house.
Which is crazy. So you are right now. You're in your home. Yeah.
Yes, this is a studio that we have it built in my house, similar to yours. I'm like geeking out over yours. Yours looks great.
Oh, thank you. This is one of those. What do they call it? A 3-season room. So it's not
Love
insulated.
it.
So in the winter, it's cold as hell, and in
Oh
the
no.
summer, it's hot as hell.
I,
So
I just love I just love that you have an extra room. This is my dining room that we just converted into a studio. My kitchen's right there because I live in Los Angeles and rent is too damn high.
it is. It is. Okay, so let's see. And then you went on to a show called ICYMI. And guys, in case you missed it, ICYMI means in case you missed it.
In case you missed it. Yeah. So actually this was before the Quibi show. I got a call from HuffPost. And this HuffPost was I worked at Yahoo Entertainment for a while after my Holly Scoop gig, and that was crazy. That was a great gig. And again, I was trying to figure out a way to make money talking about politics within like the entertainment space. And Yahoo Entertainment let me do it a little bit. I got to write some articles really focused around like kind of more social issues like Kim Kardashian, talking about gun violence and things like that. Like I would say like a step above like traditional entertainment news or at least a step adjacent to it, something different than just the traditional who's Kim Kardashian dating, like, different than that, talking about
Mhm.
social issues within entertainment news. And so I developed that kind of brand doing that, but it wasn't an on camera job. And I remember walking into Yahoo Entertainment that first day and seeing HuffPost underneath like the banner of everything that Verizon Media owned. And I was like,
Mhm.
I had no idea they were the same company. And I was like, I think it would be great to work for HuffPost because that seems way more in line with what I want to do. And lo and behold, about a I have do not disturb, but it cut right through. Mom always finds a way. She's always gonna find a way.
Yep, mom.
I'll
Yes.
call, hey, mom, I'll call her back. I'll call her back. Anyway, so I moved to Manhattan, which is wild. I think I had just turned 30 or 31, 30. I don't
Mhm.
remember. My sense of time is completely gone after the pandemic, by the way. No sense of time whatsoever. But yeah, in my 30s, I packed up my entire life and moved to Manhattan to host this show. And that only lasted about a year because in case you missed it, literally everyone missed it. It was not a very successful show. and,
I watched some
and shows
clips
do,
from it.
huh?
I watched some clips from it. Engaging. It was
It
like
was.
basically it's a panel. It's a panel. It's you and like four other people, right?
Hmm.
And you're
Hmm.
talking about not just entertainment stuff, but other stuff too.
Yeah, like I said, like kind of just marrying and bridging the gap between politics and entertainment news. Because again, like going back to 2015, I really look at this as not only like a transitional time in like my own personal life and my professional life, but like the country itself was obviously going through some changes. And the celebrity world was also going through some changes. So like remember when I said that like my company that I worked for at the time was like, you just go back to traditional entertainment news. I was like, but what are you talking about? Like celebrities
Mhm.
now felt emboldened to talk about things that were more serious. Like again, Kim Kardashian talking about gun violence. We had never seen that in the 10 years prior that I had been covering Kim
Right.
Kardashian. And like tons of celebrities were just talking about really serious and important things. But traditional entertainment news had not caught up with it yet. Now I turn on e-news or whatever. And the other day I was laughing because I've been talking about trying to do this kind of content for what year is it? 7 years at this point. 7 years
Hmm.
I've been trying to like get this type of content off the ground, right? And everybody kept telling me no, 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 no. I turn on e-news the other day and I watch a report of them explaining January 6th because two country singers got into a fight and one of them called the other one MAGA Barbie, and they had to explain what that meant based on the January 6th thing. And I was like, I told y'all we can't go back.
It's funny. It's funny because a lot of people like to complain about um, actors, expressing themselves about
Hmm.
political issues that matter, and they think it should be like the shut up and dribble thing that Laura Ingraham
Oh
said
yes.
about
Yep.
uh, LeBron James. But that's really not. At the end of the day, they're celebrities. Sure, they're actors and they make a lot of money, but they live here too.
Right.
This is their world. This is it. So it
Correct.
kind of behooves you when you have a platform, when there are X amount of people whose ears and eyes you command, you kind of have a responsibility, like it or not, to speak responsibly about shit that matters. And so I
Right.
want to ask you the stuff that happened recently with Kanye West. How would you have tackled that in your old show that deals with celebrities? Would you have taken the kid gloves off and told him about himself? What would have gone down?
It's funny you asked me that because I've been literally trying to write a script about Kanye West for 3 days now. I really wanted to talk about it. I don't know how to dwindle down the complexities of Kanye West into a 1 minute TikTok video. I'm still trying to figure that out. But if I had the time or if I had my own late night show, no, I definitely would take the kid gloves off and I would talk about things honestly because I think exactly what you said here. Words matter. And I am all for celebrities who want to be involved in certain movements. And I'm really all for celebrities who choose not to do that as well. Like, I think it's a personal choice. And at the end of the day, celebrities are just people like we are, just like you said, who live here, who have opinions, who have voices. Whether they want to use them or not, totally up to them. But we do have a responsibility when you have that much power to speak responsibly. And the way that I would have framed this is talking about just the irresponsibility of someone of Kanye West's caliber saying the heinous, hateful, and downright dangerous things that he has said in the past month, in the past year. I mean, I would have taken
Mhm.
it all the way back to TMZ. Slavery was a choice. Like,
Right,
come on.
right. Yeah.
That's what I would have done. I'm still trying to figure out how to turn that into just 1 minute. How do you dwindle down all of his stuff into 1 minute?
You can't. You can't.
Exactly, which is why I'm struggling. I haven't done it yet, but I've been wanting to for days now. But no, I mean, I think it's like I just said, like Kanye West, his words matter. Elon Musk, his words matter. Donald Trump, his words matter. And I just keep thinking about how it's these men first of all, these extremely powerful, extremely wealthy, minus Donald Trump because we know he's in a lot of debt, extremely powerful people who may not be the ones storming the Capitol, who may not, who may not be the ones holding up signs on the 405, but whose words allowed other people who follow them and take them seriously to do these things. And that matters.
Yeah. Now, we've been talking about these little 1 minute clips that you do, and I actually have a clip, a 1 minute clip of yours.
Uh-oh.
It's recent. It's relatively recent. This is the Lizzo crystal flute piece.
Black people appearing in movies and TV shows and performing is not a liberal agenda, is not woke. It's as Queen Lizzo herself would say, it's about damn time. Let me ask you this. Which one of these people is James Madison, founding father and the owner of the never-before-beloved crystal flute that 100% of Americans did not know existed until a black woman dared to touch it? Okay, don't lie. You've been looking at these pictures a little too long now, haven't you? You've narrowed it down to these two, right? Ooh, but one might be Alexander Hamilton, and now all you can see is Lin-Manuel Miranda in a puffy shirt, and you're like, well, this might be a lot easier if the founding fathers weren't all old-ass white men. Let me help you out. They're both James Madison. You couldn't pull your favorite founder out of the lineup, but somehow you got your panties in a wad over his dusty flute. You're acting like Lizzo personally took that flute and gave you the American Pie treatment.
This one time, at band camp, I stuck a flute in my...
You feel the need to respond to the mere existence of black people by replacing them with a creepy AI white mermaid, boycotting a fantasy show, or being just plain mean? You are not responding to an increasingly progressive culture. You are not anti-woke. You are racist.
I said what I said.
Now, how many of those do you do per week? How many?
Oh my gosh. Well, in a good week, we try to put out four to five. Although like Fridays is a whole other thing. People have lives again because the pandemic is over for the most part. So we try to do four. But we've been working on, anytime we have another thing to work on or a bigger project that we want to do, it goes by the wayside because it's just the two of us. It's just my husband and I. And I mentioned this before, but we both, those George Soros checks have not showed up. And we have part-time jobs. So, because something's got to keep the lights on here. We're making literally $0 doing this. So it's a lot.
That's what I want to talk about. Okay. Because, we all of us have seen and enjoyed TikTok videos. I think I made one or two myself. I'm not good at it at all. I'm not as good at talking as I am about Twitter.
You got my number. Let's go. I'll teach you everything I know, which isn't much, but we'll get there.
For that 1 minute clip, how much work all in, like how long does it take to, you got to write and then film it? And I'm sure you're not doing it in one straight take, right? Or are you?
I'm pretty good at reading prompter. But we typically do two takes. We typically do two takes. You see the jump cuts and stuff. I can edit anything out. But no, yeah. So that one, typically what will happen is Lauren writes a lot of the stuff. Although I actually came up with that one. That idea that like representation is woke, I've had that idea floating in my mind angrily for months, like talking about the existence of people of color is somehow part of a woke agenda. No, it's part of being a part of a functioning society, So I hated that idea that people of color existing was somehow this progressive agenda. It should just be part of our lives, right? So anyway, I had that floating around in my head, and then finally I sat down to write it. Typically Lauren does a lot of the writing, but this one I wrote. So I wrote it down and then I got it out. So then Lauren comes in, and after like an hour of me like getting all my thoughts out, I read it to him, and he was like, oh, let me make a few changes here and there. It's very like collaborative between the two of us. Because he's my producer, and we just go back and forth. So then after that, it's like, okay, when are we going to film this? Also, being a woman in media means I have to do this. I have to put on eyelashes and look good. Because I think it's a lot, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I just think it's a lot easier for men to turn on a camera and get going than it is for a woman. Because Dude, I showed up. I posted one TikTok video with my hair up. I was like in Target, and people literally didn't recognize me. So I'm like, I mean, that's just part of that. So that takes, 30 minutes or whatever if I'm quick. Then Lauren, like at the same time when I'm doing that, he sets up the studio, sets up the lights, gets all of that going. Because again, this is in our house. Then we shoot everything. Then after that, I edit. I'm the one who edits the videos. So
Uh-huh.
Lauren sometimes will build those graphics, but he's not the best at it. I usually build the graphics and then I edit it. And typically, we are posting the video in the car. We only have one car between the two of us. So Lauren will drive and then I'll
Mhm.
post in the car on the way to my restaurant job. And that's how it is.
Wow. So all in, would you say about 6 hours, maybe?
Maybe, I mean, if we're really quick, probably 4 from like start to finish. But that's half the day. And that's for one video. One video.
1 minute video.
A 1 minute
That's
video.
it's amazing. But I mean, it's a great product that you put together. So
Thank you.
well done. I like the little.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you like it because you know what? So many people are like, that's so annoying. I'm like, no, it's my
No,
brand. The pop is my brand. I'm leaving in the
yeah,
pops. I don't care. So I'm glad you like it. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for clearing up this argument.
indeed. You're welcome. Now, you also been producing a show called The Divided States of America. And I believe you're doing this in conjunction with the Midas Touch brothers. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. This was about a year ago. And again, like kind of the height of the pandemic dwindling down. I think we put this out. Oh, maybe we started it maybe like a month before the vaccines came out. And so right before everything really started to come back to normal, we were by no means normal, during that time, but things were starting to look up, but we were still very much in the throes of the pandemic and being at home for most of our lives. And at that point, Quibi was already gone. I was unemployed. I was on unemployment. And at that time, too, the entertainment industry has taken a while to come back, even now during the pandemic, but there were literally zero jobs to be had
Mm.
at that moment. And yeah, especially for a television host, like no one was, I mean, I was so lucky. I was so, so, so lucky to have a job as long as I did during 2020. But when it ended, like, I mean, I still haven't gotten a job back. So the entertainment industry is just, it took a while, for it to come back. And then also, like, my other skill is waiting tables, but the restaurants even weren't open at that point either. So we were on unemployment, but we were still wanting to like churn out content. And we were feeling like we wanted to do something a little bit more than just the 1 minute videos. Because again, it is really hard to take complex things that are happening in our country, and especially like having nuanced conversations with just a 1 minute video. That's why I haven't put out a Kanye one yet, because there's so much floating around in my mind about it that I don't even know how to like possibly dwindle it down. So we gave ourselves 20 minutes. And we're like, well, if we were going to put out a late night show, which is my ultimate goal for anyone who's listening, I want a late night show. If we were going to put out a show, what would it look like? And so we just created it. That picture that you showed, that's my dining room. We were at the time in a 600 square foot, 1 bedroom little bungalow in Venice Beach, California. And that's my dining room that we set up to make look like a late night set. And we did 6 shows. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So you said you did 6 shows, and
Yeah.
that's it.
That's all. Well, here's the thing. It's just me and Lauren doing these things, and we were working probably. Lauren can correct me if I'm wrong. He'll chime in. He can hear me. Maybe 50 out, 60 hours a week. How long, babe? Maybe he's not listening. Maybe his headphones in. I would say 50, 60 hours a week, like working on that, and we would do like 60. He says 60
Mhm.
hours a week doing this, and we would do an opening, like here's the news of the week, the biggest news of the week. And then we would do like a skit or a parody song, which we would self-produce, we would record, we would write, we would perform, make a music video every week, and then go into like a second bit. And then like my kind of Bill Maher-esque like final thoughts is Tommy Lahren. We're not going to do that, but the Bill Maher what's his Not
New
new
rules?
rules. No, not new rules. What's the last thing he does? It's like the final thoughts. His little last little montage that or montage that he does.
Oh,
Monologue.
I
What's
thought
it
I,
called?
I've stopped
Oh, it is
watching.
new rules. It is new rules.
Yeah, I've stopped watching him because he really kind of grates on me a bit.
Dude, I know. Bill Maher. I could talk all day about Bill Maher, but he does come across my feed quite a bit. But yeah, so like a last little kind of like my thoughts on whatever was happening, and it's just like honestly, it was just like too much work for two people. So like I'm glad that we did it, and I love that we did it. I just like we just kind of missed like diving into something so immersive was just such a big commitment. And like I said, I'm glad we did it, but then we started to miss just kind of like the spontaneity of like regular TikTok videos and stuff like that. So we went back to doing our regular content. But with the idea that like we've done this now and our goal is to create something like that, a late night-esque show for either broadcast television or whatever else is popular, because you said it, like TikTok has kind of taken over. And that's kind of what we're working on behind the scenes now. And I say what we have like other big projects that we work on that take us away from TikTok. Like I mean, we're working on those types of things to create some sort of late night-esque style show, but with help. Because doing it by yourselves it's a lot. I'm sure you understand that like even doing
I
this
can
hour long show it's a lot.
I can totally attest to the difficulty in putting together long form content, and especially doing it by yourself. I've actually had
Yeah.
to scale back um,
Yeah.
what I do with this show. But I for one appreciate what you have done with your not just with your show, but with your TikToks, because at the end of the day, you could be talking about anything, but you're talking about issues that matter, and you're doing it kind of like I could call you an edutainer, right? Because
Ooh,
there's
I like that.
yeah,
Can I commandeer that and put it in my Twitter profile? Because
yeah,
I say comedian and I say political satirist, and all those haters are like, she's not funny, but I love that. What did you say?
edutainer.
Edutainer. Boom. Done. Trademarked. Got it.
Um, yeah, and you were doing it during a time where I don't think it's hyperbole to say that there's a lot of shit at stake. There's a lot of important stuff at stake, and specifically, I'm talking about the midterms, right?
Oh
Um,
Lord. Don't
where
make me all nervous.
we're looking at Senate seats. We want to expand our Senate majority, specifically at least by two, because if
Mhm.
not, then we will remain hostage of Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. So we want to expand that by two, and we also want to just at least hold the slim House majority that we currently have. How are you feeling um, about the midterms?
I'm
What's your
surprised.
honest feeling? Huh?
I'm surprised I still have fingernails. That's how like I just want to bite them all off. I'm very, very, very nervous. I feel like I'm a little more optimistic than I was in like 2020, because God knows like what would have happened if we didn't, win the presidency in 2020. So I'm feeling like a week before this election versus a week for that election, I'm feeling much more calm. So I feel like that's a good sign.
Hmm.
But there is just so much at stake, like what you just said. And it's wild to me that like these very slim majorities, like the fact that two people, two Senate seats could be the difference between us losing more rights in this country. I mean, I've already lost the right to my body in 20, however many states. But the fact that, gay marriage is on the docket and like voting rights and democracy itself, like these are massive things that are going to be determined by two people. Like what a world we live in. And I don't like to look at the polls because I got shell shocked in 2016 looking
Yeah.
at the polls that said that Hillary is gonna just run away with it. So I always take polls with a grain of salt. I'm a little encouraged. Actually, no, I'm a lot encouraged by the news that came out this week because early voting started in a lot of states this past
Yeah.
week. And the numbers are looking good. And we know
Over
traditionally
10, over
who
10 million.
votes. Yeah, I mean, that's insane. That's insane. And traditionally, we know that typically people who are voting blue for the Democratic side are the ones who get their ballots in a little bit early, the ones who do it by mail.
Right.
So yeah, I'm feeling really, really good about that. But again, I'm a little bit scared because I was watching Rachel Maddow, and she's like, all these people are voting. I'm like, oh my God, don't say it because then people won't vote because that's what happened in 2016.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
just shut up, just pretend we're all gonna die or something.
I'm doing everything I can to help guard our troops against complacency, because you're absolutely
Yes.
right. If the people see that we have, I don't know, a comfortable lead,
Yeah.
maybe they think, you know what, I don't need to vote, because Joe down the block, he's going to vote, and I'm in a safe state. That's the
Right.
thing. People
A
say I'm in a
safe
safe,
state.
but they don't realize, okay, there are positions like Secretary of State that I have never in my life ever had to give a shit who is the secretary. Like, I don't care. The Democrat, Republicans, it's Secretary of State. It's the most boring position. But you know what? That boring ass position is the only thing that kept Donald Trump from strong arming himself into a second term.
Yep.
Secretary of State. So I am nervous too. I
Yeah.
am nervous. I mean, I do watch the news, and I'm watching. Sadly, all we have is MSNBC right now. CNN is like Fox News light,
Yeah.
and MSNBC is, they were running these focus group videos that are
Oh, I
of
saw that. I saw
only
that.
Trump supporters. Jesus Christ. You want to give me a heart attack? Just show me that all day long. No. So I'm having to manage my own expectations and take
Yeah.
with a grain of salt the polls, and also remind myself what you said about the early voters. And here's the other factor, right? That nobody seems to be talking about is that the youth, young voters, 18 to 30, that is the X factor that hardly anybody's talking about. But
Hmm.
I have friends like, God damn it, what's his name? My friend, his name I can so for some reason cannot remember. He works with youth, and he said, yeah, the youth are turning out in massive numbers. So maybe these pollsters are not taking the youth into account.
Yeah, I mean, I really, really just take polls with a grain of salt. I try not to even listen to them, because yeah, exactly. And it's just like I don't think people even like intentionally think about like not voting the day of. But if you wait till that Tuesday or whatever, and your car doesn't start, or you just get stuck in traffic because you're like, oh, I got time, I got time, I got time, and then all of a sudden, like you don't vote. That's
Yeah.
a big deal. But you're like you're not you don't have the same sense of urgency because you're like, we got it. It's totally
Hmm.
fine. So I don't even think it's like a malicious thing that people are just going to be like, I don't want to do it, but you just wait too long. And then
Yeah.
day of something happens. So I say vote now, vote early, vote by mail, do what you need to do. Plus, like I love not going to the polls and standing there and like feeling rushed to like type in stuff. I love the fact I live in California. I like to say it's a safe state, but it's not the
It's
case
not.
at all because we know what happened with the recall of Gavin Newsom and like all of that stuff. But they send you like a whole different like read up and like a whole book of like all the issues, and you can read it. And I love to do it from the comfort of my home with a little glass of wine, a little music playing, reading up on all the issues and all the people. Like, just get it done early, make it an event. You and your significant other or your dog just sit down and get it done.
Let's talk about um, the debate last night.
Do
I
we
don't know. Did
have to talk about Dr. Oz?
you catch it?
Do we need to give that man more oxygen?
But did you catch the debate last night?
I caught the clips that were going around online. Yes, you know what? As a woman, it has always been my dream to have myself and my doctor and democracy involve my womb. That's just always what I dreamed of. Thank you,
The
Dr. Oz,
local
for standing
politician
up.
all in the business.
God, wow, just wow.
That should be the major takeaway from last night's debate. Not John Fetterman's recovery from stroke,
Yeah.
because you know what? Here, this is I watched it. I watched the
Mhm.
debate, and here's what my issue was, right? First of all, they had 15 seconds. They were giving these guys 15 seconds to respond. Look, I haven't had a stroke, right? I'm relatively articulate. It takes me 10 seconds to think about what I'm going to say
Yeah.
before I say it. So already now I have 5 seconds to say, blah, blah. That's
Right.
number one. Number two, they had a very jarring bell. Like you ever been to a hotel? They have that
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding. Yeah, there was a jarring bell at the end of your, or in the middle of your what you wanted to say. I don't think I could have performed half as well as John Fetterman did last night. I got to take my hat off to him, because you know what? He could, and a lot of people were criticizing him last night. They were online saying, you know
You
what?
know what?
John Fetterman should have stepped to the side and let um, somebody else run in his place. But they already rejected Connor Lamb. They rejected Connor Lamb. They said, we don't
Yeah.
want him. We want Fetterman. So that's the horse
No, I mean,
we're
I'm honestly glad that you mentioned the fact about the 15 seconds, because here's the thing. And we talk about, rights for all people, but we should really start talking about, disability rights too. Because here's a man who, like, as you said, he is in recovery from a very serious stroke. And would it have killed him to give him that 20 seconds, 25 seconds instead? No. But you don't think about these things. And I feel like one party in particular looks at that as an advantage, like a recovery, a disability as an advantage, instead of actually giving people more time that they need and deserve.
Mhm. Indeed. And I also want to say about the most popular comment last night was, well, you can't have this guy as a senator if he can't think straight. Well, first of all, there's nothing wrong with his cognitive ability. There's nothing wrong with his cognitive ability. That's number one. Number two, when he is legislating, when he's doing his job as a senator, there's not going to be anybody ringing a fucking bell in his ear or giving him 15 seconds to, to create a thought or to create legislation. No,
Hmm.
he's going to have people working with him. He's going to have assistants and aides and whatnot. He's going to sit in the chambers and debate with his fellow senators. And by that time, sure, it's likely that he will be recovering even further from the aphasia that he's experiencing right now.
And let's just point one thing out too. I love this quote from Joe Biden. I'm going to use it for pretty much everybody. Again, let's not compare him to the almighty, the perfect. Let's just compare him to the alternative. Because let me tell you, John
Yeah.
Fetterman on a bad day is heads and shoulders better than Dr. Oz literally at any time. This guy is a hack. He is a celebrity, again, who has absolutely no business being anywhere near any public office. Like I'm not opposed to celebrities who want to be in public office, but like I the audacity of these white men who think that they could just be president or be a senator without ever holding a public office in any other realm, like not even a councilman first, like in the local city or whatever. Not to mention that Dr. Oz isn't even from Pennsylvania. Like, come on. So let's just compare him to the alternative.
You do realize that Dr. Oz actually killed puppies.
I heard about that.
Over 300, and it floored me. Like, if I post a picture of my dog or my two cats, there are people within seconds posting pictures of their dog and their puppy and blah 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 blah. But then you talk about Dr. Oz killing puppies, and you think, oh shit, people are going to gravitate to this tweet. They couldn't be bothered. They couldn't be bothered to. I'm floored by what is going on right now.
I am too. I'm floored that like it's winning people over. Like they don't see the clear like play that is happening here. That a man, a celebrity who has a ton of dark money behind him, who's not even from the state of Pennsylvania, is being put in this position to steal power from the rightful people. Like John Fetterman, He has been he's a lifelong Pennsylvanian and has served in so many different aspects of the entire state, from the town that he was born in all the way up to being the governor. Like, I just don't understand why people are like, how they're buying this, how they're buying this. You know what I mean? It baffles
Yeah.
me. In the same way that I never understood how some people could just be so mesmerized and overtaken by Trumpism and MAGA world. Same. It's
Let
all in
me
the same
ask
vein. Yeah.
let me ask you this. What will you do if Trump runs for president in 2024 and wins?
What can we do? I mean, what are the options?
Well,
I mean, I don't like this,
you
huh?
stay in the will you stay in the United States?
I mean, I'm not going to make a declaration either way. I will say that I visited Europe for the first time this past summer, and wow, that was eye-opening. Even like the simplest things, like the cost of groceries and like eating and not feeling sick afterwards because like of all the regulations that they have on their food to make sure that you're getting like actual food, housing costs and things like that. And oh, I don't know, socialism, health insurance. Things like that. So I'm never going to say that I wouldn't like consider moving to another country for those types of things. But I don't know that like Donald Trump would be the reason. And I also like I love this country so much, and I this is my home. This is where I was born, and I kind of hate the people that are like, well, if he's here, I'm leaving, because kind of never do. There's a ton of
Mhm.
celebrities who said that they were going to leave, and then they didn't, and then that just is fodder for the right that was like, we told you, blah blah blah. But I also just think like if you love this country so much, you fight for it, and that's what I'll continue to do. I'll just be a lot more angry and a lot more loud,
Heather,
if that's even possible.
what more can our viewers do, in your opinion, to help us win in Rovember?
Rovember. Oh, I love that. I mean, here's the thing. I think at this point, like the people who are going to vote, and the people who aren't going to vote aren't going to vote. It's always kind of like these undecided people to me are, do they exist? Do they? I don't really know. But I think like talk to someone in your life. Like I talk on a very macro level. I turn on this camera every day and I talk to people. But largely because of algorithms and things like that, it goes to the same people over and over and over. But I have people in my life who they're not undecided, but who would vote Republican. And I take time to actually talk to them about certain issues and understand where they're coming from. I don't know that I've ever changed any minds for my specific family, but at least I got them thinking about things a little bit differently. And I also think we need to start thinking about this in like a long-term game too, because the Republicans have for the last 50 years. Look what they just accomplished. And we can't
Yeah.
think of it as each individual election. So just because the election's over and no matter what the outcome is, we can't just stop talking about these things. We need to continuously talk about these things and talk about the country as a long-term investment and our long-term plans on this. So even if you don't convince your mom or your dad or whoever to vote a certain way, keep talking to them about this and keep on it. Like keep all these issues top of mind for them as we go on. The fact that we only talk about issues in election years is wild,
Yeah.
wild. And it's wildly horrible for our country because it all just comes down to these do or die moments in November every other year when these are there. Republicans have chipped away at voting rights since the day after the election in 2020. And they play the long game. So let's also play the long game. Let's continue talking about everything from now until literally forever. Never stop talking about it.
Keep the conversation going. And I have a comment here from Corey Lord saying, let's stay positive. We have people who are good at messaging. Fact is,
Mhm.
I'm one of the people who's good at this sort of thing. And Corey, thank you for that. You're absolutely right. That was one of the main reasons I believe that Heather and I were invited to the White House, is our ability to message. So I'm going to have to double my efforts and pump up the positive, and
Yep.
also very important to remind folks what's at stake, the negative, like the Social Security and Medicare. I can't believe in 10 years I'm supposed to be eligible, 11 years supposed to be eligible for Social Security, and you got to you better believe I'm not happy about the idea of giving that up. I'm gonna
No,
need that shit.
I'm gonna need that shit too. Not in 11 years. I would love to retire in 11 years. That'd be so nice. But it's not likely. So no, I mean, like, and that's the thing. It's like we're gonna talk about it right now, and then after November, are we just gonna not talk about it anymore? We continuously need to talk about these things because like elections are important and they matter, and it's our time as a nation and as a collective society to enact the change that we want to see for our nation and our communities. But we still got to put the pressure on the people that we elect in office, and we got to let them know every day what we want, what we don't want, no matter what it is.
Excellent. Excellent. We are now at the part of the show which I should have got about 10 minutes ago, but this is the
I just have a big mouth. You know it. I'm sorry.
the guessing game. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer you one of several categories, right? We
Okay.
have
Okay.
name that 80s tune.
Oh God.
We have name that 90s tune.
Okay.
We have I should have known that. And this is an interesting one. These are little factoids that you swear you know, and you should know that it's fairly well known. Right? Last but not least, we have Seinfeld trivia. I don't know if you ever
Oh
watched the show
no.
Seinfeld.
I haven't watched the show, so we're definitely not gonna do that.
Okay, so I should have known that. That's a good one. We
Ooh,
got
I want to
music.
do either 80s is out. 80s is definitely out because I know nothing about the 80s. It's either 90s or I should have known. Which one do I want to embarrass myself more in? I guess let's go 90s. Let's go 90s music. That sounds fun.
There it is. All right.
There it is.
Let's find the 90s. There we go. Okay, so how this
Oh
works
no.
is I am going to hum or sing a song, and if you get the answer, if you answer correctly, you get the cowbell.
Is
Right?
that as annoying as a bell as it was in the Pennsylvania Senate debate last night?
Not quite. And if you
Not quite.
answer
Okay, good.
incorrectly, you get that.
I'm anticipating a lot of that. I can already feel my self-esteem leaving my body.
I wouldn't be so sure. Let's see. I
Okay,
don't think
let's see what I got.
aren't that difficult.
Okay.
Here's the first one. And when you think you have it, say I got it. Right?
Okay, that's easy enough.
Here's the first one. With the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now. Entertain us.
us.
Stupid and
And
contagious.
contagious. Here we
Here
are.
we
It's
are.
Nirvana. Smells like Teen Spirit. Right. Yes. I can literally feel, I can't see my husband, but I can feel him in the other room being like, oh God, Heather, please get this right.
Okay. Here is the next one. Well done. Let's see.
I love that you're singing this, by the way. This is amazing.
You're welcome. An old man turned 98. He won the
He won the
lottery.
lottery. He died the next day. Alanis Morissette, ironic. Wait, where's the bell? Yeah. I wanted to do a parody song to that about abortion rights. It's still floating around in my mind. Maybe I'll get to it.
Ironic by Alanis Morissette was the
Love
answer
it.
we were looking for. Well done. You are 2 for 2.
Okay, this is not so bad.
Let's see what's next here. Oh, okay. This might be a little challenging. Let's see.
Perfect. Love it.
Hey, You get off my cloud. You don't know me and you don't know my style. We be getting flam when they come to a jam. Here I am, the blah, blah, blah. Patty cake, hey, the blah, blah, blah. Don't eat Skippy, Jif, or Peter Pan. Peanut butter, cause I'm not butter. In fact, I'll snap back like a rubber band. Nothing?
I don't know. Oh no. What is it?
We were looking for METHOD Man, the Method Man from the Wu-Tang Clan. Method
Oh
Man.
yeah. Nope. Definitely no clue.
Okay, that's fine. We got a whole lot of more.
Okay, perfect. Let's do it.
A lonely mother gazing out of her window, staring at her son.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Oh, very well. Good.
Is that? But wait, am I going to embarrass myself by trying to guess the artist too? Is it? It's TLC, right? No. Oh, is that right? Okay. Whew. Oh, I just got very sweaty.
That was TLC Waterfalls.
Whew.
You are definitely on a roll here. Let's see.
I mean, I was a country music radio host back in the day.
Okay, let's see if you can get this one.
Okay.
You are my fire.
The one desire, believe when I say I want it that way. Backstreet Boys, right?
Yes, indeed. Okay, so that one may have been a little bit too easy, yeah?
Oh, wow. Look at those pants. Wow. The 90s came and went so quickly.
I was all about those baggy pants.
Oh my God. The 90s is coming back in style. It just makes me feel so old. Like, I don't know what makes me feel more old. The fact that I already lived the style, or the fact that like we've cycled back to it at this point, what I've already lived. I'm not sure which one is more depressing.
You're getting some good reviews here from the audience. They like your sound.
Yes, Monique, thank you.
By the way, Nurse Mitch, thank you for the donation earlier. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Okay, and Jenny Rayner says you have a good voice.
Nice. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I can't wait for you guys to see the parody song we're releasing next week.
Here is the final one. You ready?
Okay.
It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away.
Okay, I know this one. Keep going.
I go out every night and sleep all
day. But what is the name of it?
Your love away.
Fudge.
Oh
no!
Do whatever I want.
Oh.
Whenever I choose.
Nothing compares to you, but are you singing the Prince version or are you singing the other version? I love that song. Nothing compares to you. Wait, which version were you singing?
It was there's the picture right there. There was the Sinead O'Connor version.
Oh, see, I usually listen to what was it? Oh, I can't remember. Stone Temple Pilots. I usually listen to that version of it, which is also classic 90s.
I never heard that version before.
Oh my gosh, it's an acoustic version that they played on like MTV. It's fantastic. Do it. Listen to it. Do yourself a favor. That was a trick question. Wait, hold on. Lauren's butting in. It's not Stone Temple Pilots. Who is it? Chris Cornell. What band was he? Wasn't he? What
I
band was
don't know.
he in? Soundgarden. I always get those two confused. Okay. All right. I'm going to say this again. Heather has vibrato. I do. I actually majored in music and vocal performance before I switched to journalism. Let me do this again.
You have a bunch
Huh?
of videos. You have a bunch of videos in which you are singing parodies based off. Like there was one, Faith, because
It's
got to
all in
have
bad
faith.
faith. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
George Michael. That's one of our. We do a lot of George Michael. He's a legend.
Mhm. Absolutely. All right. So that is it for our guessing game. You finished with a perfect score.
No, I didn't
The
get everything. I missed that one. The Wu
Oh,
Tang.
and right, the Method Man. Sorry, but
Yeah.
still really good. You did very well.
Thank
Um,
you. I'm impressed with myself actually.
so last but not least, we have a bit that I call my favorite things. And there's no right or wrong answer to these. These are just to
Okay.
let the audience get to know who you are, what things you like and what things you don't like. And it's meant to
Perfect.
be a rapid fire thing. I ask, you answer, and we keep it moving.
Okay, let's do it. Let's go.
You ready for it?
I'm
Okay.
ready.
Favorite TV show to binge watch?
Gilmore Girls at this current moment in time.
Interesting. My wife loves that show. Um,
Everybody loves that show.
favorite late night TV host?
John Oliver. He's the GOAT. I can't even
Oh,
watch him. He's so
good
good.
answer.
I
That is a
can't even. I can't.
great answer. Favorite comedy movie?
Ooh. Oh. Why is this so hard? Favorite comedy movie? I don't know, but I just watched The Rescue Rangers on Disney and it was really funny. It's the terrible answer.
Is that your answer?
Oh wait,
Rescue
Horrible
Rangers?
Bosses is actually also one of my favorites. The new uncut version,
Yeah.
genius. So
The
good.
first one. The first one.
Yes, the first one. Yeah.
I would have answered Step Brothers.
Step Brothers is so good too.
There's just so many.
Any-
Anyway,
Anything with Will Ferrell, so good.
favorite Washington D.C. attraction?
Well, considering I was just there, I would guess I'd say the Washington Monument because it was so beautiful. I was standing on that. I'm never gonna forget standing on that balcony on the
Yeah.
White House, sipping a glass of wine and looking out at that Washington Monument. Dude, we drank wine at the White House. What is life?
Favorite reality show?
Oh gosh, I don't really like reality shows. I guess there was a time when American Idol was my favorite. I know, right?
Yeah.
American Idol was my jam. I used to call in and vote for Carrie Underwood. I loved it. Loved it.
I stopped watching American Idol when I figured out that like the teenage girls were just like they were the ones who were
They were the
determining
ones.
who the winner was going to be. I was like, this thing is rigged.
Hi, it's
it's
me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Okay. Favorite TV sitcom character?
My favorite TV sitcom, How I Met Your Mother, probably Barney Stinson.
Which one is Barney? Is that
He's the player. He's Neil Patrick Harris.
okay.
Ted
Good
Mosby
one.
is annoying. He's annoying. He's an annoying hoe bag. I love that show.
Favorite fast food?
In and Out. So LA of me. In and Out.
Yeah, okay.
It's so good.
Favorite
Although I agree with
dinner?
AOC. Those fries are trash. It's just the burger that's good.
Interesting. Who has better fries?
Wendy's.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have gone with Burger King, but I'll take that.
Burger King's fries are really good. Rallies. Have you ever had the curly fries from Rallies?
I have not. I don't think I've ever been to a rally.
So good. Just go for the fries. Get nothing else, just the fries. Maybe a milkshake.
Favorite singer or group?
This is so hard. This is too complicated. Um, 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 I really like the Revivalists a lot. They're from New Orleans, and I love
Mhm.
them a lot.
The Revivalists.
Yeah.
Are they new?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
You'll
I
have
don't
to
know when
send
I
me.
even like started listening to them.
I'll ask you to send me a link to your favorite song of theirs.
Okay, perfect. Oh, I will. Definitely. I already
Um,
got one in mind. All right, let's go.
Favorite Twitter account?
I mean, obviously, Brooklyn Dad underscore
Well,
Defiant.
aside from BDD.
Obviously. Ooh, favorite Twitter account. Definitely not Elon Musk's, even though I spent a lot of time on it today. I kind of enjoyed the White House trolling Ted Cruz at the moment and
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
other lying hypocrite Republican who takes credit for shit they didn't do.
Okay. Orange juice or milk?
Ew, I can't stand milk. Milk is disgusting. Orange juice all the way.
In your cold cereal?
I eat cereal dry, straight out of the box. I am that person. I do not like milk.
Yeah, I was totally kidding. Cake or cupcake?
Cupcake. Cupcake.
Mustard or mayo?
I don't like condiments. I am a weird person. I'm a weird person. I
Dry
know.
food? Dry? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's true.
Uh-uh.
I am. Yeah.
We could have been friends.
I know, and now we can't. This was a good run. We had a good hour and 16 minutes, but now it's over.
If you could meet one living politician, who would that be?
I really, really wanted to meet Joe Biden. I thought there was a chance. There was a chance. I really wanted to meet him, but I would love to like sit down with AOC. I think she is badass.
Interesting.
Badass woman, and I would love to have coffee with her.
If you could live anywhere, where would that be?
Maybe the Amalfi Coast. That sounds lovely. Sounds so nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you
And they
could
have
do
free
any
health
job,
insurance.
nice. If you could do any job for a day, what would that be?
Ooh, maybe I would want to be president for like one day. Just one day. See what I can accomplish in one day.
Interesting.
That
Very
sounds fun,
interesting.
right?
Yeah,
Right?
and you would be the first.
Kamala tried it on for one day. Remember when Biden got his colonoscopy or something? She got to be president for like an hour. Something along those lines, yeah.
That's funny. Okay. Any particular charities or foundations or organizations that are close to your heart or that you support?
I mean, anything that is going to, pro-democracy, get out the vote, any organization that helps people to just have access to voting is the number one thing. Guys, our democracy is in the ballots.
That's right. That's right. So there's one in particular, since you mentioned it, there's one in particular I was tweeting about today that is supposed to really help with the final stretch of volunteering for the midterms, and it's bluein22.org.
Love that. Blue
Bluein22.org.
in 22.
Yeah. And if you go there, you can volunteer for call banking, text banking, postcard writing, canvassing, any and all of the above. Often, they say when you're anxious about things or you're angry, a good thing to do is to do something, to focus your energy on something. So
That's
Blue in
smart.
22.
Love that. Perfect.
Indeed. And Heather, I want to thank you again for agreeing to be on my show. Folks, this is Heather's Twitter account. It's Heather GTV. At Heather GTV is her Twitter. So go ahead and click on the follow button And here is her website where you can sample some of her extensive catalog of work there. It's Gardner.tv. It's really entertaining. I promise you, you will be entertained or edutained, as I sometimes like to say.
There it is. I love it. Edutainer. I'm an edutainer. I love it.
Heather, thank you again. Let me sign off with my tweets here, and don't go anywhere. I'll be back with you shortly. And folks, thank you again for joining me for another fun episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. And if you have not yet gotten your shot, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and get it. Get the booster or whatever. Wear your mask. Keep your social distance 6 feet or better, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And I will see you guys here. Oh, next week. By the way, next week I have a special guest for you guys. It will be one of the Midas brothers, Jordy Meislis. Will be joining me here. Same time, same place. I love you all. Peace.